thanks, Sean. Not a bad
No,
job.
I'm just not letting you. I'm not letting you
I keep track of a lot of stuff.
Dylan has a little diary he writes in every night that like talks about his feelings.
No. This was my month plan. And so I had all of those non-negotiables, and I ended up negotiating a few times.
What's up, guys? This is the What's Next podcast, and today we are sitting with a very interesting guest, Emily, and I will let her introduce herself and say a little bit about her.
Hey, so I'm Emily Eliette. I am an actress and filmmaker in Huntsville, currently the production coordinator for Hike Productions, and I'm also the social media director at Audi Huntsville, Hiley Volkswagen, and Hiley Mazda. And my next thing that I'll be launching soon is my business, Eliette Co., where I do photography and social media management. Super
interesting stuff.
Cool.
We talked earlier about sort of synergy in the different things that you've got going on, and also the connection of you taking your hobbies and turning those into businesses. But what originally got you into photography, like the art of capturing a moment?
So I got started in that because I kind of started all on camera with everything, that was always my passion, and then I decided to get behind the camera because my sister always did all my photo shoots, so she had her camera, so I was always a fan of that. And then in my senior year of high school, I took a photography course, and then I realized that I could do stuff with that because the week that I graduated, literally someone reached out and was like, hey, come do behind the scenes photography on a film set with us. So that's kind of all the stars aligned, and I got into that, doing behind-the-scenes photography. So it all, again, went together with filmmaking.
Yeah.
I know you kind of made that transition. What is your favorite part of doing it? Is it more directing it, of being okay, somebody's filming, and then I'm kind of being okay, this is what I want to play out? Or is it actually filming, or is it maybe being okay, I want to kind of build this scene? I mean, I guess that's kind of a part of directing, but
it's kind of all a mix.
Yeah, a little bit of all of it.
I really love directing as far as filming goes. I don't really care for being the cinematographer as much. I've done that before and I'll continue to, but I much prefer being the director. And then with photography, I do love being behind the camera though and taking photos, and I really love planning the shoots and just seeing set dressing, getting the vibe for everything, kind of the creative eye behind it all. That's my favorite thing to do.
Cool. And you're doing an interesting thing with the ability to have a I don't want to call it a corporate job, but it is a traditional job with a big company, but you're doing it where you are implementing your creative talents. And so I imagine that it's probably difficult where, there are social media strategies that are proven and put in place, and they're put in place because they work and are proven. And I imagine that with advertising, I think it's an art for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
How do you balance the freedom, I guess, that you have when you are trying to create a piece of art, with HAG, versus how do you balance that with the things that you're doing for Audi?
So it's definitely a whole different world as far as creative freedom. My job being brought in, the dealership is very old school, the manager. So they knew that they needed video content for stuff, and they just didn't really know what to do. So they brought me in because I knew people there. And they kind of gave me free range at first, and all of the guys always wanted to collaborate. But recently I've kind of gotten my creative freedom taken away.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because social media is iffy. And
you gotta have a good image. That's a big thing, is the image.
I know. And dealerships all around, people hate dealerships.
Oh, yeah, of course, because they're everybody thinks they're a scale.
Yeah. So you really can't win. So with Audi, we kind of have leeway. With Volkswagen and Mazda, we can't really do anything controversial because they're middle class, all that stuff. With Audi, we can get away with doing skits customer moments, salesmen suck. So we were doing that, but obviously they're all exaggerations, but people on TikTok love to hate, and especially they hate dealerships. So we've kind of been thriving off of hate comments, but our managers were loving it all. It's pretty unhinged. They don't really care at all. But then one of our TikToks on Audi, someone in Audi Canada saw it, and they sent it to Audi of America.
Oh no.
And they sent it to their top marketing person, who then called the Audi Southern Regional Manager person, who then called our general manager. And they're like, you need to take that one down and that one down. So yeah. So now our manager is like, I need to approve everything. And I was like clarifying, I was like, what do I have to get approved? And he was all like, you have free range and all of the basics like employee stuff. But he was like, if it has any comedy, I need to see it. So I was like, so no creative freedom.
Yeah.
Because that's where it comes down to being like, you have to follow corporate rules and procedures and policies of like what is the best thing for that's within everything though, you know. If I want to buy a McDonald's and franchise a McDonald's, I have to do what corporate tells me to do, because I can't make it Sean's McDonald's, you know. That's not a thing. It's got to be the same, because Audi in Tennessee or whatever, their content, it can't be like, I mean, obviously it's going to be different, but it can't be like unhinged way more than, you know, other. But I mean, I've seen on like Twitter, like I've seen people like Wendy's Twitter, right? Like we've all seen that, how they'll say like unhinged things and funny things. I'm like, was their Twitter hacked or what? You know?
Who knows? Yeah, that is true.
We try to add personality to it, because it's like they don't really care. They were just mad because they were like, that represented our Audi brand specialist in a bad light, because I grabbed one of the detail guys who wasn't in Audi attire, and we just had him walk around acting dumb, and they're like, that doesn't represent us well. And I was like, well, he wasn't a salesman. So they approve of pretty much everything else. It was like that one, and then one where we called a Volkswagen and Audi, obviously as a joke for comments, and they were like, the Q7 or something like that isn't anything like that Volkswagen Atlas. And they got mad and made us take that one down. That comparison gets a lot of comments though. Yeah. So yeah, but he still approves everything. I'm like, the one thing that you can tell with like as far as strategy goes and being successful with creative stuff online, if you have a good like to view ratio, then more people like it than hate it, because people only leave hate comments. So like we have one video that got like 3 million views and it had like 300,000 likes and like 2,000 comments. Most of them are bad, but we had a good like to view ratio, so more people like it and relate to it and want to come into the dealership because of it than people that hate it.
So like when you came into Audi, you said you were 18, right?
Yeah.
Were you doing what you're doing now with them at 18, or was there a process of you getting to where you are now?
It's kind of like built over the past year. Like I just hit my 1 year on last Tuesday, and kind of when they brought me in, they didn't know that they wanted me to do social media or any of this stuff. Like they just needed someone there to do video content. As far as like my first task was doing little intro videos of the guys where they just say like, introduce themselves, here's my contact information, thank you for your interest, my information's listed below, so they can send it to customers. So they wanted that type of stuff, and then they didn't really have anyone, like they just had a marketing director, so they realized that like I could do social media too, because that's like the people that already knew me knew that's what I do. So I kind of branched out into that, so it's kind of been a work in progress over the past year, especially like managing 3 dealerships. It's been like trying to find what works for each thing, and it's different for them.
It's interesting how it's different through the brands. Like, I guess it makes sense, I guess, because it's kind of is a different customer, like client base for each type of car. But that's cool. I know that there's like a lot of different kind of cultures surrounding different brands. Like, what is this brand's culture? What is this brand's culture? They're all unique.
This is a controversial topic, especially right now, you know, of is TikTok going to stay around? What's going to happen? You know, what is your consensus? What is your ideas behind like the use of TikTok as a marketing play, you know?
I think before I didn't really pay much attention to it because video like content creation for that is such an involved thing, but it's starting to show that like that is the main thing. Like even on Instagram they're pushing video more than just photos.
Right.
Yeah.
And like TikTok is literally king right now.
And that's like the YouTube, TikTok came out, YouTube Reels came out, Instagram Reels came out, Facebook Reels. Like it's all about the Reels now and getting like that's a big thing. That's what I was talking about, like with making content, you gotta like put in all the different avenues, you know. And that's kind of where I was gonna ask you about so you doing this work for Audi, is that what kind of made you think like, hey, I can branch out from this as well and start my own thing? Like, how did that come up?
Yeah, that was kind of like, I always knew that my career would be in like the social media, video content creation, and like photography and everything. So going into that, the job it kind of just became the perfect job that just aligned with me. But so through like doing all of that stuff, I have like learned a lot more, and it's made me want to branch out more, and like has given me the confidence to be like, I can go do something else. So it has inspired me to like go make Eliette Co. And all that, and especially like knowing people now in Huntsville and like going to all the big events. Now they like see me, they have their eye on me, so like they'll come to me if they want a photo shoot. So it's just like all kind of built relationships. So I've learned a lot from working at the dealership. And
So tell me about like what is the plan? What is your scheme?
It's been a long time coming. I mean, it's kind of like I have so many hobbies and things that I love. So it's kind of just my business, and finally putting a name to all of that to be like, this is separate from like my personal Instagram account.
Right.
To now I have a business, I have a website for that. It's all separate. So I've kind of been in the process of working on it throughout the year. I finally like put a name to it in January, and now I'm hoping to launch it by the end of the summer. So it's kind of just, I wanted to have a photography company as well as a business where people can come for social media management services, and also just like ad design, all of the marketing things. So that's kind of the goal for that. It's kind of like a whole PR marketing type agency, also photography business.
Yeah.
So it's just my place to do everything that I love.
I like that. When I first looked at it, I was thinking, so this is sort of like the place where you can be a freelancer in the many things that you like.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense. That's what like many people do. Honestly, that is what most entrepreneurs do in their journey, is they figure out, how can I meld all of the things that I'm interested in and turn this into something that is profitable and something that I also enjoy in a big way. So that's cool. One thing that I've thought about recently is the duality nature of most art and pretty much everything in life, but the contrasting between the youthful ideas and the youthful creativity and the corporate structure. It is what creates and gives it is what creates culture, you know.
And you can see that shift.
Oh yeah,
that's like a big shift, you know. In all my like management classes, I'm seeing the shift as companies like it's literally like it's mapped into history that what companies used to be were profit, quality, mass production, you know, mass production and profits.
The way
is what they were worried about. And now it's transitioning to a more humanistic employee view, as the employees are valued more than just the production of them. You know what I mean?
Well, Emily, it was great talking to you.
Yes,
this was an awesome conversation. I definitely learned a lot about the marketing world and your aspect in it. And your plans for the future are cool, aspiring, and I can already see that things are working your way, and I think the future will as well.
Yeah, you just got to stay on the road, you know, keep improving your content and, you know, your directing skills and everything. And, like, that's the thing, is just keep gaining skills and, like, you know, that portfolio, and then people will know your value. So you'll get that work and those clients eventually. You just got to keep going, you know.
True.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, you got exciting things coming.
Yeah.
So
it will be.
Go ahead and plug anywhere that you would like to, or say whatever you would like.
Yeah, because we'll link it all down below.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess follow me on Instagram at Emily Eliette and Eliette Co. It should be launching soon. So that's pretty much all my handles.
You want to plug the Audi?
Yeah, go watch us on TikTok at Audi Huntsville. And don't leave hate comments, please.
No, none of those.
I read enough.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Well, again, this was a great conversation. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, we enjoyed it. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Even
I'm an
further
old
out.
grandpa right now.
Yeah, Dylan's like, I'm like mentally 80 years old, just like sitting here.